Welcome back to the Hockey Shop, source for sports. We're in goalie utopia with Cam Matwiv and the all-new Vaughn VX1 line. Cam?
Or V11, if you want to go with that.
Well, I guess X and 1 is that what this is supposed to be?
Oh, well, I mean,
VX1
is last, so
what are you using, V11 or VX1?
Call it VX1 for now.
I think VX1 sounds a little cooler.
It does.
And I'm going to be honest, folks, I kind of feel like this is a significant enough departure for the velocity line from a stiffness profile and how it plays perspective that it's probably a good thing if we went with a little bit of a different nomenclature.
I would agree.
This is much stiffer than we've come to expect from a velocity line, Cam. Why don't we start with the pad?
Oh, I think we start that.
Let's go. Let's start with the pad.
All right. So, as Kevin alluded to, this pad was probably the biggest departure from a regular velocity that I've ever seen. Within the last, we'll call it 10 iterations previous to it.
Yeah, notably stiff through.
Yeah, as you can see.
Even with a single brakes through the core.
That flex profile, I mean, there's still some there. And with a classic velocity pad, there is going to be some break-in period to the pad itself. However, one of the biggest differences now that we can start to look at, and because of that extra stiffness, that thinned out thigh rise. So looking at the top of that thigh, quite a bit thinner than something that we've seen previously in the past.
By Vaughn standards.
Yes, by Vaughn standards, for sure. As a result, with anything that you do go thinner, you have to go stiffer to maintain that structural integrity to the pad. That said, as a result, we've kind of created this new, velocity. I mean, like I said, I don't even know if we can call it a velocity anymore because it is its own thing. Much rigid, like in terms of even like the landing surface all the way down through up to the calf. The seal out of this pad is like unmatched, versus previous velocity series. Continuing on within the back of the pad and into the details a little bit more. Their bounce stabilizer now, even further improved from their previous iteration. Nice thick knee stack. Great stability for the overall knee itself. Very rigid, like that's me putting a lot of pressure on it to at least get some play out of it. I'd equate this very, very close to like the next closest thing I think of it would be like Stabilislide from Bauer. In terms of the stability that it's offered. I would say very, very similar properties to it.
I mean, it's not integrated into the face of the pad, is it?
Incorrect. Now it is to a bit of a degree. So to get onto the nitty gritty on the inside, you can see an actual carbon piece running through the actual stack itself into the core of the pad.
So there is one piece that runs all the way through.
I don't think we can call it necessarily a bracket because that's something
but similar
that another
function.
Does. Yes.
There's a reason it's stiff. They haven't just stitched it in tighter is what you're telling me.
Exactly.
Okay.
So continuing to talk about strapping, if you flip your pad over as well, we can see how their rotation control system strapping has evolved. Eerily similar to something else I've seen.
That's got a true feel to it. That the way that wraps around the calf with two straps.
I would say so.
Quick change strapping is what they call it.
Yes. However,
I can read, Cam.
I know it's a little bit shiny.
Yeah.
There you go. So with the way that their strapping is, obviously it's going to be different from what we find on some of the other pads on the wall. A little bit more of, I would call, a slight integration with the pad itself. In terms of how you overall feel, you have that level of adjustability. When it comes on to like custom options, for example, as well, we can make this still tighter if we have to. Again, if we really, really need, we can start messing with the strapping, add some other straps in there. But however, that's becoming a bit redundant at this stage of the game. So nice wraparound tight feel. So that's still a hallmark of your velocity line. You're still getting a lot of that control.
Knee strap can go down, old Carey Price style, as we're seeing a lot more of guys returning to in the NHL, around the back of the knee. We're seeing that trend come back again.
Nice.
That option is there. It's stitched in. You could lace that out quite easily, I think, if you want to remove it completely.
Correct. It's just held on by lace. That it is.
Nice. I like the landing. I do like that knee area. It's really nice.
So,
and don't forget, quick slide.
Quick slide.
As you almost caught there.
So, something that we have seen previously on Vaughn pads, so this is nothing new. Again, technology that slides very well, very good feedback of it. Also high wear material as well, designed to really prevent that wear on the side of your pad because it is more durable. So, looking and flipping over to the boot, which we're now looking at all together, Vaughn continues with that flat boot construction. Consequent, as a result, this pad does fit big.
Okay, so the flat boot, which we've seen other brands do in different models, wasn't part of V10.
No, V10 did have the flat boot as well.
Okay.
So did
so
their
it
SLR
is
pads.
still going to sit similar to a V10, but not
Correct.
if you're in a previous iteration of a Vaughn line.
However, again, we've added some stiffness profile to the pad as well, so I do find this is still even fitting a little bit bigger. So this is the first time we've seen 31 plus 2 as a stock senior size. So
Okay.
further driving home that this pad does fit big, it's like they've brought that further size down. So it's always something that was available custom, but now available stock off the wall.
Speaking of custom, we talked about how much stiffer the profile of this pad is. You can order it in a more flexible option, no?
If need be, yes.
Okay. So you can still get that more traditional feel that you're used to from not probably to the degree of early, like this isn't going to be Jonathan Quick's
No.
V2 pad that you can sort of squeeze together and play some music with.
Correct. It's not
Okay.
an accordion. You won't flex like an accordion. But speaking of flex, one last thing to cover. Bungee toe ties. Slightly different bungee toe tie that we've seen. Gone to the clips, although you still can order them. Not recommended. Velcro toe ties, more in line with most of the other products that you do see on the wall. As always, regular skate lace is an option. So, I think we covered the pad.
An option we encourage, by the way.
You've heard it here. Okay, so. moving on.
Blocker. What's this good for other than hitting you, Cam? Because it's pretty beefy. I demo, but I
Good.
pledge to be kinder in the new year to you.
So as opposed to things that are a massive departure, this is something that's actually a little bit closer to, Vaughn blocker still a past. So some minor improvements over the V10, in particular, stiffer sidewall, integrated sidewall all the way throughout one piece construction. So we have much more control and also
It's a very
Walkability.
protective feeling. Very
exactly. And having that more
beefy.
rigidity, when you do go seal up, it's like you're getting that tighter seal rather than that blocker folding underneath you or moving, in a way that you don't want it to.
I didn't say beefy in a bad way.
No, exactly. Overall, the blocker itself does have a nice balanced feel to it. Nothing too exciting.
Center
to say.
position on the handboard.
Exactly. And they still do continue with what would be, I would say, the looser of the palms on the wall.
We've seen other companies take material out of the palm to make
Correct.
it fit more like a player glove. Vaughn's got a little more material left in there. So
If you are looking for, again, what would be that looser
Tighter
fit,
feel,
a little bit
yeah.
more traditional in that past, hey, great option. for
tighter,
you.
you're looking at something else.
They've also widened out the actual area in terms of that integration for your chest in particular by opening up that cuff a little bit more, adding that flexibility with those elastic straps there as well, as well as allowing that blocker to get nice and forward, really, get that coverage that you're looking for.
Actually steer pucks as opposed to just letting it hit you like you do.
Hey, man, puck hits me, as long as it dies, we're good. Okay, last but not least,
Is this the VX1 glove or the V11?
VX1 glove,
Okay.
V11 by your standard.
Okay.
So, staying very true to the V10.
You should have used that with the pads. That would have been a good pun.
Very punny of you. Good overall feel. 50-degree closure. 45-inch NHL legal perimeter off the top of my head. There we go. What has changed a little bit is the backhand strapping. A new large thumb loop held on by this Velcro strap here.
So that goes to the internal thumb loop?
Yeah.
I like that.
It's great overall feel. I find it's a little bit more grabby, but like the closure is very natural right out of the box.
It is.
That's brand
Doesn't
new.
open super well. Like it feels like from a break-in standard, I feel like this part would be easy, already done.
Yep.
But I'd need to do a little work to have it open for me and present nice and
A
big.
little bit of that comes from them adding carbon into the actual T pocket of the glove itself.
And that's not a problem. That's part of the process, right?
Exactly. But that added carbon into the T also will help with that glove staying open and a little bit more rigid and durable over
Okay, so we put you on the spot here, Cam.
Aye.
We're fresh off our video on glove breaks and comparing them from
600.
different brands. So
600.
this is okay. I'll agree with that. That's kind of fingertip to fingertip in terms of how
so
it
this still
closes.
follows along the line of that kind of traditional feel, but Vaughn has brought into the new age, especially with the V10 of fusing that cuff together to create more of that one-piece design that we find with most of the other gloves on the wall.
You passed the test.
Okay.
What's a shock shield, Cam?
What's shock shield? That's integrated Kevlar into the actual palm of the glove itself, so that's helping with your stinger reduction.
See, I pledged also in 2025 to make you look good by asking you questions, putting you on the spot, knowing full well that your expertise runs so deep, you'd have every answer. You're not used to being complimented, are
you
you?
said something nice about me. I don't even know what
Shocker.
to say.
I've told you, it's a new Woody in 2025 and a
Look at
new Vaughn Velocity
There we
line
go. There's the
in
spin-off I was looking
2025.
for.
If you've got any questions about the new Velocity, how it varies from the V10 model or previous models, especially if you're an older generation Vaughn user, can you make this pad work for you if you're used to something a lot more flexible? Call Cam and his crew at the Hockey Shop if you got any of those questions. If you want to talk about customization and the options to do the ordering through Cam, where can they get you?
604-589-8299 or 1-800-567-7790.
And of course, thehockeyshop.com.
Thanks, Kevin.